Outlaw Radio, conservative talk.
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth. We will make America great again.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast.
Outlaw Radio, conservative talk starts now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this edition of Outlaw Radio Conservative Talk, I am joined, of course, by my good buddy, the Hawk Craig Montgomery. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Good to have you on here. And also joined by our other good buddy, Mike Weiss of LMS Tactical. How you doing?
Good to see you guys. Good to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I just want to cover a few things here because we're going to basically talking about the impact of the coronavirus here in the United States, but more importantly, what's going on and what they're doing in South Africa. At least there's some conspiracies going out there, and I'm just praying to God that this is not true, but it's serious enough that I do feel that we need to talk about this. First off, where I'm at now, we are up to 1,396 confirmed cases with 25 deaths. There is only one state in the United States that has not claims they have not had a death from the coronavirus, and that is the state of Wyoming with 256 confirmed cases. And Craig, I want to start with you. You were telling me something interesting about a military hospital set up in the Seattle area where some of the worst cases are, aside from New York and New Jersey. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was a report that there was a 150-bed hospital, temporary bed hospital, set up by the military for 2 weeks in Seattle. Nobody pitched up. So they packed it up and left. Not one case. There's been reports where reporters are going into New York where the Democrats are screaming that it's a war zone, only to find there was nobody there. Nobody even at the front gates. There was no cars, no people. One or two nurses running around inside the hospital. There was just nobody there. The reports are not right.
Yeah,
reports out of Utah that some people are dying of heart attacks and they're reporting them as coronavirus deaths.
Yes. Now, Mike, you're out in Virginia, and I do believe Virginia's got, according to this map I'm looking at, 5,077 confirmed cases in the state of Virginia. But overall, what have you heard in recent news, or some of the rumors you've heard as well?
I've heard every conceivable theory and rumor that you can imagine, just like I'm sure all of us here on the panel and everybody listening has. This is going to be by the time it's over, it's going to be just catastrophic, and there'll be big pits of bodies. And, we've heard all of that all the way up to and including that it's completely false and there's no such thing as the coronavirus. I can tell you that much like Craig said, there's conflicting reports coming out of virtually every state, mine included, that contradicts what the message the mainstream media is putting out in terms of hospitals and crowding and the direness of everything. I am not willing to roll the dice and proclaim that it's a complete fraud, but I am willing to state my reputation on the fact that there is a hell of a lot more going on related to this coronavirus than just the coronavirus, whether it's to use it to install something other, maybe some mass vaccine program. I mean, all of these things that we once thought were conspiracy theories, you can't really write those off anymore, because everybody with even the slightest intuition knows that we're not being given the straight scoop on what's going on here. And I've had people ask me, well, what do you think, Mike, that everybody is all of the world's leaders are conspiring to perpetrate this lie? Look, it would be very easy to misrepresent something and use the media to spin people up out of control and get a frenzy going if you wanted to drive, wag the dog kind of a thing. So I don't buy it. Like Craig said, I think the hospitals are not, the hospital near me, there's no indication whatsoever that there's anything other than business as usual. Everybody in my house was sick for about 3 to 5 weeks, and we are convinced that we had whatever it is that they're attributing it to the coronavirus. We're 100%. We had every symptom you can imagine, every one that was listed, and it came and it went. And that's not a real clear answer. But you know what? I'm more shook up about what we don't know than what they tell us.
I agree with you 100% right there too. That I'll admit, the media had me pretty scared too. Of course, I never listen to CNN or MSNBC or any of the crap they spew. Especially, I think what Chris Cuomo-sexual is what was trending on Twitter. Cuomo-sexual. I like it. I honestly, I have a feeling he was pretending to possibly have the coronavirus. Would that shock you that someone like him, of course, his brother, the governor of New York, that whole family's rotten to the core, he'd be pretending to have this virus and just help instill that fear in the people.
I just can't listen to the guy myself. He is so condescending. He talks like he's talking to a school full of 5-year-olds, and his animated characters and movements and his lecturing about 2 seconds, and I'm ready to start smashing windows and kicking kittens. So I haven't really listened to the guy. He makes me kind of sick.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Hey, so the rumors I'm getting from people who don't want to be named is people like Tom Hanks stated he had coronavirus, but there's a picture of him being arrested as he got off the plane. His agents all over this guy, taken away. There's, and I don't know how true it is, but they rounding up people left and right. There's this Epstein thing, the black books come out, there's a lot of people getting rounded up. The thing worries me about this Boris Jensen guy from this Boris Jensen, I think his name is, from Britain. He's extremely sick right now. He better have a lot of people around him to protect him, because he managed to get this Brexit through. A lot of people are pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, what was his name? Hugo Chavez, a dumbass, came here to get his heart fixed. You knew he was never going to leave.
Yeah.
There's something there's something stinks, because it just doesn't make sense. Look, why did we send 30,000 troops into Europe right now in the middle of a pandemic? It don't make sense at all. Something's amiss.
Yeah, something ain't right to the whole thing. Yeah.
Suddenly, Russia and Saudi Arabia make a deal yesterday, or the day before, for oil. And we backed out of it. We didn't sign no deals with them. And oil crashed again, went down, didn't go back up.
And because we're, for the first time, we're not getting a dependency so much on foreign oil, and like we did with Bush and Obama in office. And you got Trump making other deals, and God, Nancy Pelosi just will not fucking stop.
Well, she's on happy pills and drinking too much, and the fool thinks she's immune to the law. And according to the bar, he's rounding up a bunch of people because of this Pfizer reports. That little twit, what's his name now? Alan Schiff.
Oh God.
I was sent a report that I can't verify or deny, but I saw the document where video surfaced during the administration of the Obama administration, where some SFB agent sent the video in saying that old Shift was beating up two little young gay boys in a gay party or something, and that was shelved. That's coming to the surface as well. It's part of this whole Epstein crap.
Yes.
So I, I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people are running right now.
And then shifting gears to South Africa, where of course they're getting their numbers up there. I mean, Zimbabwe, from what I understand, has only a handful of cases, but you know, they're pretty scared of how they're going to handle it. But in South Africa, they have put out the full force communist martial law. Of course, black people are pretty much getting away with whatever they want, but it's already been confirmed that you know, Ramaphosa put in a lockdown order, and a white man just simply stepped out onto his balcony, didn't leave his property, just stepped out onto his balcony, and he got shot. And now I'm hearing about this Operation Chariot, where, you know, I mean, I'm just hoping that this is all a big conspiracy that's gonna just fizzle out like a bad fart. But you know, from what I understand about this Operation Chariot is the military's given orders to go into somebody's house as a part of their plan for land expropriation without compensation. It's going to be more than land, too. They're going to expropriate people's houses. They're going to expropriate people's cars. They're going to expropriate the food out of their refrigerator and the clothes off of their back and put them out in the street naked and leave them that much more vulnerable. That's part of their agenda right there. You can't tell me anything different there. But it seems like this is all going hand in hand to bring in the full force communist regime that Nelson Mandela wanted from the very beginning.
So let me put it to you like this. The black population doesn't believe in the law. They don't care. The law, listen, the policeman standing there tells the guy, hey, you do this. You know what he tells them? I'm coming to your house to kill your kids. The guy looks the other way. That is the law in South Africa. The judges, the lawyers over there in the court system will tell you the judge is scared to make a decision. So he bails them out because they're telling the judge in the courtroom, we're going to kill you. We're going to find you and your family and we're going to kill you. So they don't make decisions. The government has no control. The army said, oh, we have orders. We're going to go there and skop and dono. Skop means I'm going to kick you and I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Skop and Dona, that's your code name for your operation, Skop and Dona. Now this other operation they're talking about, this was a German operation during the Second World War. It was part of the Night of the Long Knives during the German, during 1949, that area. So it was a German operation. They're using the same code name for the Night of the Long Knives. Listen, Ramaphosa was the orchestrator of the 1983 document that states Boiling the Frog. That son of a bitch, I've asked him numerous times publicly. On almost every video that I can, I put out there, hey, son of a bitch, come and talk to me on here live. Come debate us live. I want to ask you about Boiling the Frog. Not one of them will ask him directly. Why? What are they scared of? Why won't they ask him? Why is CNN the only international media organization in South Africa? Even Al Jazeera is being shut down because they tell the truth. And the problem is when you confront these guys, they run. Julius Malema, I asked him to debate me. He won't. Because I'm going to ask him, how did you get funded to start the EFF? How did they have that massive conference? All the speakers and all the security and all the chairs and all the buffet and everything. And then you look in the crowd and there's a bunch of British people sitting at the table on the left-hand side, and a bunch of South African businessmen, and nobody touched them. They all had their little badges and everything, right? Why? They're funded by Britain.
Yes.
People don't realize Britain never left. They never left since the Anglo-Boer War. All they did was put puppets in place. You explain to me why every single president in South Africa has to go bow or bend or go have tea with the damn the Queen of England.
Yes.
1 month or 2 months after he's elected, they're off to the Queen. Oh, man. Yes, ma'am. How much shit do you want, ma'am? It's all bullshit.
It is.
They've been run by the British since the beginning. Cecil John Rhodes colonized South Africa. They stole the diamond mines with the help of the Oppenheimers and the Rupert. Now Rupert's screaming, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to give you R1 billion to help you with this economic problem." Why? You explain why why is the United States giving them $9.4 billion a year in our goddamn taxpayer money?
That needs to be cut.
I'm flabbergasted. Where's the hell is that money? Because if you take $9.4 billion and you times that by 19, every single person in that country will never be in debt.
Yes.
A year, never be in debt. So where's the money? Where's it going? What's really going on there? And how are we supporting these people when 90% of the time they vote against us in the UN? 99.9%. And according to Lena Marx, we giving them $9.4 billion. Come on, man, there's something that's wrong. The UN stats from 2012 states that South Africa has the highest murder rate in the world, 60 a day. That's more than this goddamn pandemic in the entire world.
Yeah.
And and rape. Every single minute, 3 girls are raped from the age of 2 to 90.
Yes.
Nobody says that. Why are we supporting this? We just gave them the USAID, whatever group, whatever you call them, USAID, just gave them 8 million rand to help them with the pandemic. Did you see a tent?
No.
Did you see a mask?
They didn't do
Did you see any test equipment?
I knew that was a mistake. I knew that. Big mistake right there. Yeah.
Deployed. You explain to me, why do you need missile launchers in the city?
Yeah.
They're driving missile launchers down the damn city. Multiple missile launchers. Look at the videos. Look at the thing. They're driving them down inside the city. What do you need that for? Was that just for show? Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a tank too and shoot mama off a porch. It makes no sense, man. Mm-hmm. Listen, they did an exercise on the Cape Town beach. They fired every goddamn thing at the damn flare and missed. Then they got stuck in the sand. You give me 10,000 soldiers, and I'll have that country in 24 hours. And I mean real soldiers, not people that run at the first bullet or fire in the air. I'm talking about real soldiers.
Yeah.
These guys are a joke. The problem with the white people in South Africa is they're law-abiding citizens at the mercy of criminals who are not law-abiding citizens, not the police, not the judicial system, and not the government. So why is the United States feeding our taxpayer money into the system? Just today, I was at Walmart. There's an old folks in the 70s standing there, counting their pennies out to buy 2 bags of food. And they had to walk away. And I was like, stop. And they were almost out. I said, hey, come here. I said to the lady, how much was that? They said like $54. It was a little, 2 bags, I think it was meat and some other stuff that they had. And these guys were old, right? Old Mexican couple. And they could barely speak, you know, and they were like, the guy got so frustrated. Even his, aid card, whatever, didn't work. He didn't have the money. I called him back. I paid for it. But Why are we giving these people, ungrateful people, this money? They
Yes.
sold all the mineral rights to the Chinese. The Chinese just built a massive city and a massive military base there, right? No white people and no black people allowed, only Chinese. They have 13 Chinese police stations. Explain that to me. They won't allow American ships into that country. They're pushing massive amounts of drugs through the harbors now that are coming here to the United States, Canada, Europe. They've got over 42 ISIS, Hamas, and Al-Qaeda camps in South Africa. Some of them are in the military bases like Vlakplaas and Youngsfield camp. They have Arab terrorists training there. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we assisting these people?
Craig,
I understand. We put sanctions. I've got a petition going right now to stop all foreign aid to South Africa and put full-blown sanctions on them. They are supplying diesel to Iran because Iran can't produce diesel. So we are supplying them. Well, not we, South Africa. 2 companies out of South Africa just got sanctioned by the United States government for trading with Iran. They're not only trading with Iran with diesel, they're trading with them with military equipment. They're selling them military equipment.
and that's scary.
They're selling them oil and they're storing it in Saldanha Bay.
Craig,
And buying oil from Venezuela. So what is happening is they're violating all the U.S. sanction laws. Why are we giving them money?
yes. Craig, I honestly hate to cut you off there. I want to give.
Sorry, man.
No, I want to give Mike a chance to speak and give his thoughts on this whole Operation Chariot and how they're handling the situation over there in South Africa.
No, I was enjoying listening to Craig. I mean, he's from South Africa, so that's the guy that probably should be speaking on the subject. I don't know a whole lot about this operation any more than what he had said in terms of its World War II reference, but I can say this. I mean, I hope, like you said, that Billy, that it's a conspiracy. But whether it is or whether it's not, it really shouldn't change anything in terms of how the South African citizens are living their lives right now. Listen, they were under attack a hell of a lot long before anybody ever heard of the coronavirus. Okay, so the South African blacks are a lot more lethal than the coronavirus to South African whites. And
Most
white
definitely.
people in South Africa, white people need to have a plan A, as I've been saying all along, plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. And they need to get, as they said in the movie Full Metal Jacket, a lot of people say we don't have weapons, we don't have fire. It's not a gun that kills, it's a hard heart. They need to get that hard heart because you got a lot of the older generations in South Africa. Same thing is happening here. The younger guys that are wearing the man buns here and try to figure out what the fuck sex they are today want old guys like me to drop dead because we remind them of a different era. The same thing's going on in South Africa, but it's a lot more lethal because they don't have time to be dicking around with things like political correctness. They need to start figuring out how you need to position your heart and soul, how to get right with your God and your religion so that you can be efficient when you thumb somebody's eyeball out and feed it to their corpse. Because if this kicks off and it's a timed, planned, everybody gets hit at once thing, that is no different to me than if my front door comes off the hinges right now, somebody comes in to do my family harm. I'm going to react the same whether it was a planned operation or whether it was just some drug addict walking by that thinks he wants to come in my front door. I can tell you this, there's going to be a big mess for my wife to clean up when it's over, but we're still going to be breathing in this house. And they need to get that mindset, whether or not this thing is legitimate or not. I hope it's not. Speaking of the coronavirus, I have a friend of mine that had said, if the coronavirus is as lethal as they're saying it is, maybe this is what the God's answering the prayers of the South Africans all along. Let's hope that it is lethal and have the white people that are smart enough to stay inside and stay separated and let these assholes running around saying it only affects white people and they're partying in the streets and killing and raping. Hey, let it spread through, man. Hug, kiss, and spit all over each other. And let's hope that it is an effective exterminator. Maybe in the end, the coronavirus will do more good than all of these thousands of requests for help to the outside world with very little exception, seems to be turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to South Africa. So that, that may sound extreme to some, but that's the way I roll.
I believe that, the coronavirus is real, but, and I said this to many people, this virus can kill, especially with underlying health issues,
Right.
but it's not the bubonic plague of medieval Europe. That thing was a killer.
Yes, no, that's right. Or the Spanish flu or whatever the hell it was. This, we're circling right back to the beginning, but the reality is this. I believe, and I think it's clear that it's like you never let a crisis go to waste. It's a virus that was either manufactured and released, manufactured and escaped, or whatever, or somebody ate the wrong fucking bat. It doesn't matter, but it's being used, in my opinion, as a smoke screen to gin up something else. And I happen to hope and pray that Craig's right when we talk about the rounding up of these adrenochrome drinking psychotic pedophiles that have been roaming around. I don't know, and I'm not ready to stake a claim on whether or not the celebrities are actually being arrested. I've heard everything that you're talking about. I hear all this, but I'll tell you what, I pray every night that there is a massive international roundup of these bottom-feeding scumbags. That includes the Hollywood elitists. That includes these Hillary Clinton, fat fucking and all her people that have been out here whacking people and everybody committing Clinton side that steps out of line. All these people in the royal family, to you name it. I hope that's what it is, and that's the only way I can understand and explain why there's military movement that was mentioned earlier in terms of why are we shipping troops to Europe and why are we positioning National Guard and stuff throughout the city. Hey, listen, if it came down to a collective roundup and the president popped on the TV one day and said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, stay calm, this is what's happening, there's a segment of the population of the world that is always opposed to the other segment, and they're going to raise hell. In our case, we're lucky because the people that support the bad guys in this reality are kind of the beta males. So it's not like it's a massive threat. It might be kind of fun, actually.
Yes.
And I kind of think, too, Trump put those guys in Europe just in case Russia decided to get too smart, thinking we're so busy with our story, they could pull a stunt. 30,000 troops will stop a few people by the time we get there. So
that's a plausible idea.
May have been a very smart move. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
The Arabs also they're also talking about, Turkey was talking about attacking somebody the other day. So, all these things are in place right now to kind of stop. I
can say this. I can tell you this. If it was anybody else in the White House other than Trump, anybody, I'd be shitting solid bricks right now, and I'd be sitting behind sandbags with a saw and my wife handing me magazines. But I honestly believe that Trump loves his country, and I don't think Trump is going to do a damn thing that's going to hurt his citizens. I really trust the guy. Now, maybe I'll end up wearing the clown's hat. I don't think so. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and he's crude, and he's whatever. That's what I like about the guy. All right, he says it the way it is, and I truly believe his heart's in the right place. If I'm wrong, then shit is a lot deeper and a lot worse than I ever imagined it to be. So I'm going to hold on to the hope that he's legit.
I think the clown hat is a ruse. It's just people walk into the trap thinking he's a dumbass only to get caught. And how many times has he pulled the deals on all these trade deals, and they all thought he was stupid, and then he stuck it to them, and we walked away clean every single time.
Yeah.
It's the art of the deal. If you read his book, it's like this guy plays them down the rabbit hole, and then they go, "Oh, we got him," and he nails them right at the
He's a chess player.
Yeah.
They're
the
playing
guy's
checkers.
smart.
Yeah.
The guy's smart.
Craig, there was a movie made 20 years ago. You just reminded me of something here. A movie made 20 years ago. It was called Disturbing Behavior, and that movie has nothing to do with any of this, but there's a quote from that movie that I will never forget. And somebody in that movie said, "You'll be amazed how interesting people are when they think you are really stupid."
It's true.
Good.
It's so true.
Yes. I hate to say it, but we are out of time for the segment. before we go to our next music set here, I want to have both of you guys go ahead and plug your YouTubes, and I want to thank you very much for joining me once again and talk about this subject. So, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, okay, you can find me at YouTube channel LMS Tactical. That's capital L, capital M, capital S, and capital T. Everything else lowercase, LMS Tactical. And you can find my podcast on Podbean, LMS Tactical Radio. I'm also under Instagram and Twitter by the same name. Thank you very much, Billy, for having me on.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Craig.
Thanks for having me on. My YouTube channel is simple. Just call me Hawk. It was my call sign in Iraq. It was simple. They said your call sign's Night Owl. I said no, just call me Hawk, and it stuck. So that's my channel, and I'm normally on there every once a week, just giving updates of what's going on out there in Africa and the States. So I did one now on the Democrats today, on the Looney Tunes and the traitors like Mitt Romney and company.
Excellent. All right. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys for joining me, and by all means, be safe. And I know we'll be talking again. I'll be having you guys again sometime, because you're both regular guests for this segment. So, all right.